Hey everyone, welcome back to Whiskey Trek. I'm Jackson.
And I'm Natalie.
And today we're gonna do a blind.
Really cool one.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So at face value, it looks, why do we have Elmer lined up with 3 Buffalo Traces? And to be honest, this kind of all started because I was lucky enough to find an Elmer in a store, and so I bought it. And then the Bourbon Junkies did a Mashbill 2 Buffalo Trace pick, which is the first time I've ever had one of those. And I thought, hey, that'd be so cool to do a comparison between Buffalo Trace Mashbill 2 pick and Elmer T Lee, which is a Mashbill 2 single barrel around similar ages, and see which one's better. And then I remembered I also have a regular Buffalo Trace pick from the Bourbon Junkies also. So then I went ahead and had Garrett bring me over his regular Buffalo Trace and set up this blind for us. So now we get to find out, okay, a couple of things, right? So first off, is Elmer better than a Mashbill 2 pick? Is regular Buffalo Trace better than a regular pick? Or like, how does it all shake out? There's a lot of possibilities.
Pause. Thank you, Garrett.
Yeah, thanks, Garrett. Thanks for coming over, man, and lending us your bottle of Buffalo Trace. We all know it's so expensive.
Hard to find expensive.
Sarcasm. But I just, for some reason, I happen to not have any regular Buffalo Trace. Neither did my brother. So here we are.
Here we are.
We can talk about the proofs. Buffalo Trace is all 90 proof. Elmer T Lee is also 90 proof, so same.
Awesome.
Same distillery, 2 different mash bills, similar ages. I know that the Mashbill 1 pick is 8. I don't know how old the Mashbill 2 pick is, but probably 6 to 8.
Is it because the Dan sticker is covering it?
Well, no, Buffalo Trace doesn't put that information on the back.
Gotcha.
Although this does have a freaking hilarious Elmer T Lee style sticker of Dan, which is just super funny. So everything should be really similar, and I wonder if everything will taste exactly the same. So
Let's get into it.
let's find out. We are going A to D, and then we'll go back through it, and we will rank them. And then Garrett gave us a card, which I'm not looking at. He gave us an index card, so that we'll have the answers there. All right, glass A. Cheers, Natalie.
Cheers.
Oh, no, I gotta sneeze. I'm gonna hold it off. Okay, I held it off. It was a tickle.
What was the secret? How do you hold off a sneeze?
I don't know, it just went away.
Okay.
Just have magic.
Gotta think really hard about it. That's the secret.
Oh.
Now I have to sneeze. You transferred it to me. I'm sorry.
This smells really nice.
Yes, I have a very kindergartner note. Not only do I sound like a bourbon kindergartner, I sound like a normal kindergartner. It smells like fruit snacks.
Interesting. Barrel-aged fruit snacks.
I'd buy that.
I get the oak spice for sure on this. It's so sweet with those nice fruit notes following around. Light, you know.
Yes, it is very light. As it should be.
Yeah. But overall, it smells really solid.
Yeah, it smells really great.
And I'm loving that there's that nice oak spice to back everything up here. I hope this doesn't give it away. That was cold. There's only one of these that came from a different location. On the palate, a muted, not as light, more of like a dull caramel with fruit.
Okay.
And the spice is gone.
The very first initial on my tongue, it was a little browned butter, but then it turned more into like the lighter sweets that you were talking about.
Lighter sweets. See, I said it got darker on the palate than it was on the nose.
I know, but I thought more white sugar than brown sugar. I know.
All right, glass B.
Okay.
This immediately smells better.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm really reaching here. Let me.
No, this B smells great. I'm getting that browned butter you were talking about. It's a little bit darker, richer, a little more complex. I don't get nearly as much fruit.
Yeah, this is more honey sweet than a fruit sweet for sure.
I'm almost getting like if you were making caramel using a browned butter.
Oh, I just got that.
All right, I want to have a sip.
I want to have a sip too.
Okay, that one was cold too, so we're good.
We're good. But on the palate, deep, dark fruit came when I didn't get fruit on the nose. So
Yeah, that's really interesting. I definitely think it's still got that nice, rich caramel. And as opposed to Glass A, which was like a dull caramel, kind of like bland, this is much more characterful. The spice actually kind of lingers on the palate, so like it helps with that longevity there. Also, the mouthfeel, way improved. All right, Glass C. Oh, whoa.
Okay, my ranking has developed.
This is just going better and better. I love how we both whoaed at the same time. So, to give context to the whoa, this has a lot of characteristics that I found on Glass B, but it's like almost dusty. Like, it smells older and more aged. It's almost like there's an extra oak influence, but not oak spice. It's just extra aged. And it's nice and dark fruits, where Glass A, the nose was all light, bright fruits. This is much darker fruit. Sip.
Sip.
The palate is really similar too.
It really is.
I don't think its mouthfeel is quite as good as B. It's close, but the complexity and the enjoyment across front, mid, and back of the palate is all there. The first two were kind of lacking up front and really came into their own in the mid palate. This one just hits you up front with that.
It really does.
It's basically the same as the nose. It hits you up front with that dusty note, moves into this like chalky caramel, and then you get the dark fruits on the back end with a little bit of oak spice to finish it off.
Yeah, I have to remind myself it is 90 proof. I was expecting more, but yes, I understand the proof.
Yep, it's 90 proof. It's a budget bottle.
It is.
Or maybe not. You know, I guess that's fair. It could be that. We're just getting better and better. Let's see if D can improve on everything else. Kind of did.
What? No.
A little bit.
Okay, C was awesome, but this is not a letdown.
I think that this, D, does everything that C does, but better. So it still has that dusty note. It still has like this nice aged oak, but the fruit is so much more potent. It's also sweeter.
Excellent.
That smells great.
It smells great. I accidentally took a sip.
Oh, that's okay. I'll take a sip.
Okay, good.
I mean, if it smells really similar to C, and we already talked abundantly about C, D is just better C.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
The palate's not as good.
We are so not agreeing today at all. That's so crazy.
I don't think that it's as interesting.
The mouthfeel is so much better. Therefore, I feel like I taste everything better with a D.
Maybe I need to go back through it. I'm getting a lot of fruit on the finish.
Yes.
It really didn't have quite as much going on in the middle of the palate, like as a journey. Like it didn't take me on a journey.
And this did?
C did, yeah, on the palate. I think D kind of carries you straight into the spice, and then it's sweet and you swallow it, and then you get fruit notes on the back end. But it doesn't really take you on a journey. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's right. You want to rip back through it?
Do it.
All right. Glass B tastes how Buffalo Wild Wings cheese curds dipped in caramel sauce smells. Does that make sense? You know when you can taste a smell?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. It took a long time to get there. It tastes how that smells. Yes, there we go. I got it. We're there.
That is exactly like explaining to my future husband that my study abroad professor knew my mom's cousin's daughter's daughter. Does that make sense?
No, but I know what you're talking about, and it still doesn't make sense.
That's how wonderfully you explain that for me. But I get it. I get it because I know you.
Oh, that's really nice and sweet.
It is nice and sweet. I agreed. Lester.
When people get too chummy with me, I like to call them by the wrong name to let them know I don't really care about them.
That's a genius move.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Lester.
Trying to be April. This is a Star Trek affiliated whiskey channel, and all we do is make references to everything other than Star Trek.
You know what? That's so sad and so true.
This should just be Whiskey Nerds instead of Whiskey Trek at this point.
Put it in the comments if you agree.
No, we're not changing the name.
We're fine. We already did that joke on y'all. Fine.
We like the name, it works.
It works. We already clearly put too much money into. Actually, this was a gift. This was a gift.
Plus, it gave me the excuse to spend way too much money on this thing. Why am I bringing this out in a Buffalo Trace video? This is going all over the place.
This is going all over the place.
This is why we need to do live streams.
That sounds fun.
Put in the comments if you would hang out for a live stream. If 5 of you say yes, we'll do it.
We're doing it.
I already have ideas on live streams. I've been thinking about this for 2 years.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
First one, Star Trek 5, laugh along, watch along.
Ooh, I love it.
Terrible Star Trek, everyone can get on board, even if you don't like Star Trek. You can just laugh at how bad it is.
I agree.
Okay, deliberations are done. 4th place for me
Yes.
is Class A.
It's Class B.
Interesting.
Yes.
Why?
Just as amazing as it smelled, the palette is everything for me. You can have a great nose, but it's like a 30-70 for me. If you're like full stars on the nose and you're not gonna match it on the palette, then I can't give you full credit because I have to have the palette.
I respect that. My 3rd place is B.
Okay.
Which is important for the conversation that we're about to have.
Mine is A.
I figured.
Yes.
Bet you can't guess. Okay, so the reason why I put B ahead of A is because I think the nose is better. Here's the thing. The only thing on the palette of A that I like more than the palette of B is that it has that sweet and fruit note, but you only get that right at the end. The rest of it is nothing. It's also by far the thinnest mouthfeel on A. B, meanwhile, it doesn't quite have the same fruitiness on the palate, but you get that on the nose, and then the palate has much more going on. It's a little bit thicker, there's spice, and the finish holds on a lot longer. Okay,
Third.
Second place.
Second.
Math, babe. Second place. C.
D.
Interesting. It was so close.
I
It was
switched
so
at the
close.
last second. You had me in the first half believing that this was gonna be your ranking, and then we went back to it, and I was like, you know what?
I went back to it and I found that it's almost a tie because
Honestly.
C and D, I think C has a slightly worse nose and a slightly better palate, and I think D has a slightly better nose and a slightly worse palate, but it's so close.
It is crazy close.
That I think the flaws on C are more egregious than the flaws on D, and that's why I put D first. Because the reason being, I think the nose is more superior on D than C is better on the palate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And you just like
Yeah, it did.
ABCD. Oh, that's cool. Mine doesn't quite, but you know what?
It's so close, and given day, maybe extra airtime or how long they rested or whatever. These all rested the same amount, by the way. But it could depend on day. But these two, I think, are far superior to these two. So C and D are definitely number 1 or number 2, and then A and B are definitely number 3 and number 4. Would you agree? It's like
there's a fine line.
Yeah. It's not like leagues apart, but it's definitely like a step up.
Now I need to see if this was A, B, C, or D. I bet it was C. But what is everything? Oh
Holy
gosh.
shit.
What? Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
What is that face?
Everything I thought in the world is a lie.
Oh no.
It's all a lie. 4th place for me, 3rd place for you, A.
Yeah?
Buffalo Trace Mashbill 2.
Oh. Dan. Okay. Next.
4th place for you, 3rd place for me.
No. I knew you were gonna say that.
Natalie and I think that Mashbill 2 is garbage.
That is embarrassing. But I'm shocked.
That means 1st place is between regular Buffalo Trace and the Mashbill 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
My 2nd place, your 1st place, letter C, Buffalo Trace. Which means I put that first.
Wow, not how I saw this turning out.
Not even a little bit. Like, so shocked, I almost think Garrett lied. I don't know. I am beyond myself shocked. Well, this is almost embarrassing. Don't watch this video. Yikes. Well, this is embarrassing.
But it was fun.
It was fun all the way until the end.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on Whiskey Trek. Please come back. Please subscribe.
Like, comment.
Actually, for real, put a comment down below if you want us to live stream. We would love to do it, but we're not going to do it for one person. So if there's at least 5, then we'll get it done. Put it in the comments if you want to see it. We'll see you next time here on Whiskey Trek.
Bye.